Chairman Boxer. We gather here today to ring alarm bells over a crisis that we've been talking about for years. We knew this day was coming, but so many members of Congress have chosen to bury their heads in the sand and pretend there isn't a problem. America's infrastructure is crumbling, and it threatens our position in the world as a global economic leader. They've chosen to deny the obvious truth that the simplest way, and perhaps the only way, to solve the problem is to raise the gas tax and restore solvency to the Highway Trust Fund. Every morning, hundreds of thousands of hardworking men and women in the construction industry go to work and build Americans' transportation infrastructure. If they didn't do their job, this country would come to a grinding halt. I represent some of these hardworking Americans, and it's hard for me to express how disappointed we are with Congress at this moment. We're disappointed that Congress hasn't done its job, and their neglect of this issue has brought the federal highway program to the brink of collapse. A collapse that threatens at least 4,000 jobs in my industry at equipment dealerships around the country and 700,000 jobs in the broader construction industry. That Congress would subject our industry to this sort of catastrophic uncertainty is stunning. The construction industry was hit harder than any other sector through the Great Recession and still has not fully recovered. I can think of nothing worse for this industry than for Congress to sit on its hands and watch as hundreds of thousands of workers continue to sit at home in despair, waiting for their construction jobs to return. While we're disappointed with Congress, Chairman Boxer, we are not disappointed with you. We know that you, Ranking Member Vitter, and members of the EPW committee are working hard both sides of the aisle to keep the highway authorization process moving forward and prevent this program from shutting down. But we also know that the work of a small handful of people isn't enough to get the job done. I'm here today on behalf of the men and women of the construction equipment industry from states and districts across the country to ask every member of House and Senate to do your job, do what we've asked you to come here to do: legislate, govern, give us a highway bill, and give us the infrastructure that the U.S. economy needs to function. Chairman Boxer, I'm proud to stand here today.